Have you ever felt like your life is slipping into chaos? One missed task, one cluttered day, one distraction at a time? What if you could take control, bring order to the mess, and build a life of clarity and purpose? In this video from ZENLIGHT 8, we dive into 12 powerful Stoic lessons to organize your time, space, and mind before everything falls apart. Stick around until the end to discover practical, timeless strategies you can apply right now to transform your daily life. Don't miss it. Subscribe to ZENLIGHT 8 and let's start building your inner strength today. There's a moment, a quiet, piercing moment, when the weight of your life settles on your shoulders and you realize no one is coming to rescue you. Not your parents, not your partner, not a new job, not a burst of inspiration, not even a future version of yourself that magically wakes up with all the answers. It's just you, standing in the middle of your own chaos, staring at the clutter of missed opportunities, broken habits, and unspoken truths. This moment isn't cruel. It's clarifying. It's the spark of awakening, the instant you understand that if you don't take charge of your life, disorder will. Chaos doesn't barge in all at once. Creeps one forgotten task at a time, one procrastination at a time, one day without intention at a time, until you're drowning in a mess you didn't even see coming. But here's the truth. You're not powerless. You're not a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your own clarity, and the first Stoic lesson to organize your life is radical responsibility. Owning every piece of your existence, not with shame but with power. This isn't about waiting for motivation or the perfect moment. It's about stepping into the discomfort of your own avoidance and declaring, "Enough." Let's explore this deeply, weaving in the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, critical thinking, and real-world examples to show how you can apply this principle to your life today in a way that's both profound and practical. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, understood that true strength lies not in controlling the world but in mastering the self. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, he wrote. This isn't a call to ignore life's challenges or pretend you can will away external chaos. It's a reminder that your response, your choices, and your mindset are yours to shape. Radical responsibility means accepting that no one else is coming to clean up the mess. Whether it's a cluttered desk, a strained relationship, or a bank account that keeps you awake at night. It's easy to live in delay, to tell yourself you'll get your act together when the stars align. After the holidays, once you're less stressed, when you feel ready. But life doesn't bend to vague intentions. It responds to deliberate action. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for a bus that never comes. You'll stand there forever, watching time slip away. The Stoics didn't wait for perfect conditions. Marcus, an emperor juggling the weight of Rome, wrote his meditations not as a man who had it all figured out, but as one who kept showing up, day after day, to wrestle with his own mind and duties. That's the essence of responsibility. Showing up, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when the world feels unfair. Consider a modern example. Sarah, a 32-year-old graphic designer in Chicago. Her apartment was a mess. Dishes piled in the sink, laundry spilling onto the floor, unpaid bills tucked under a stack of takeout menus. Her work was slipping, her sleep was erratic, and her anxiety was a constant hum in the background. She kept telling herself she'd get it together once her big project was done or when she felt more energized. But the truth was, Sarah was waiting for someone or something to save her. Maybe a promotion would fix her finances. Maybe a new relationship would give her purpose. Maybe time would just sort it out. But one evening, sitting on her couch surrounded by clutter, she had her moment of reckoning. No one was coming. Not her parents, not her boss, not the universe. If she wanted change, she had to start. So she did one small step. She cleared her kitchen counter, paid one overdue bill, and made her bed the next morning. It wasn't a grand transformation, but it was a spark. That spark grew into a daily practice of taking ownership, not just of her space, but of her time, her health, and her goals. Sarah's story isn't unique. It's the universal journey of anyone who chooses to stop surviving and start building. This idea of radical responsibility ties deeply to critical thinking, a skill that's more vital than ever in today's world of noise and distraction. Critical thinking isn't just about analyzing arguments or spotting logical fallacies. It's about questioning the stories you tell yourself. Why do you believe you need to wait for permission to change? Why do you assume someone else should fix what's broken? These are the unexamined assumptions that keep you stuck. The Stoics practiced a form of critical self-reflection, constantly asking, is this in my control? If it wasn't, they let it go. If it was, they acted. In 2025, with endless notifications, social media comparisons, and a culture that glorifies hustle, critical thinking means pausing to ask, am I reacting to the world's demands, or am I choosing my path? For example, when you scroll through Instagram and feel inadequate because your life doesn't look like a curated feed, critical thinking helps you challenge that narrative. No one's life is perfect, and no one owes you a roadmap. You build your own. Applying this in today's fast-paced American culture, where productivity apps, self-help books, and TikTok life hacks promise quick fixes, requires a shift in mindset. Radical responsibility isn't about downloading another app or chasing a viral morning routine. It's about getting honest, painfully honest, about where your life has slipped. Is it your health? Are you skipping workouts because you're too busy, even though you spend 2 hours a night on your phone? Is it your finances? Are you avoiding your bank account because the numbers scare you? Is it your relationships? Are you holding on to people who drain you because you're afraid of being alone? Pick one area, just one, and start. The beauty of this Stoic principle is that it's liberating. If the mess is yours to own, it's also yours to fix. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to wait for January 1st or a new gym membership. You can start today, right now, with whatever you have. Let's break this down into practical steps for modern life. First, face the truth. Grab a notebook and write down where your life feels chaotic. Be specific. I'm spending $200 a month on takeout because I don't plan meals. I'm late to work because I hit snooze 3 times. Don't judge yourself, just see it clearly. This act of naming the problem is powerful. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Next, choose one small action. If your mornings are a rush, set your alarm 10 minutes earlier and use that time to breathe, stretch, or plan your day. If your inbox is overwhelming, spend 15 minutes unsubscribing from spam emails. These aren't glamorous fixes, but they're real. They're the boring, unsexy tasks that build stability. Stability isn't flashy. It's showing up for the small stuff no one sees. It's making your bed, even if your day falls apart. It's paying one bill on time, even if you're still in debt. It's choosing water over soda, even if you're not ready to overhaul your diet. Emotionally, this principle can feel heavy at first. Taking responsibility means letting go of the victim mindset, which is tempting because it's comfortable. It's easy to blame your boss for your stress, your ex for your trust issues, or the economy for your bank account. And yes, life can be unfair. You may have faced real hardships, loss, betrayal, systemic barriers. But here's where Stoicism meets modern resilience. Your past doesn't control your next step. You do. The longer you wait for someone to fix what broke you, the longer you stay trapped in that story. Imagine a hiker lost in the woods. They can curse the storm that knocked them off the trail, or they can start walking toward the light. Radical responsibility is choosing to walk, even when the path is unclear. For example, consider John, a single dad in Texas who lost his job during a 2024 tech layoff. He could have blamed the market, his former employer, or bad luck. Instead, he took ownership. He updated his resume, took free online courses, and networked at local meetups. 6 months later, he landed a better role. Not because life handed it to him, but because he refused to wait. This principle also invites you to reframe responsibility as empowerment. In American culture, where independence is celebrated, owning your life is the ultimate act of freedom. You're not just cleaning up a mess, you're sculpting your future. Every choice, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you're becoming. When you skip the late-night Netflix binge to get 8 hours of sleep, you're voting for clarity. When you say no to a draining social obligation, you're voting for peace. When you spend 10 minutes planning your week on Sunday night, you're voting for purpose. These moments add up, like bricks in a foundation. Over time, they create a life that feels steady, not because chaos disappears, but because you've built the strength to face it. Philosophically, radical responsibility aligns with existentialism, another lens that complements Stoicism. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that we're condemned to be free, meaning we're responsible for creating our own meaning, even in a chaotic world. In 2025, where AI, climate change, and political divides can make life feel overwhelming, this blend of Stoic and existential wisdom is a lifeline. You don't control the world's noise, but you control your response. You can't stop the storm, but you can build a shelter. Start small, stay consistent, and trust that every step forward is progress. The alternative, waiting, blaming, drifting, isn't just stagnation. It's a slow surrender of your power. As we move forward, the next lesson will explore how your schedule reflects your soul, revealing the truth about what you value and how you can align your time with your deepest priorities. Imagine someone shadowing you for a week, silently observing every moment of your day. No explanations, no justifications, just the raw truth of how you spend your time. What story would your hours tell? Would they see a life carved with intention, where your actions align with your deepest values? Or would they witness a blur of distraction, scattered effort, and misplaced priorities disguised as busyness? Your schedule isn't just a to-do list. It's a mirror reflecting your soul. It reveals, minute by minute, what you truly prioritize, not what you say you value, but what you actually give your energy to. In a world that bombards you with demands, notifications, and endless opportunities to say yes, protecting your time is an act of self-respect. This second Stoic lesson invites you to take a hard look at your calendar and ask, does it reflect the life I want, or am I living by someone else's script? Let's dive deep into this principle, weaving in Stoic wisdom, critical thinking, and practical strategies to help you align your time with your values in today's fast-paced American life. The Stoics were obsessed with time, not as a resource to hoard, but as a sacred currency to spend wisely. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." His words cut through the noise of modern life, where being busy is a badge of honor. Yet so many of us feel empty at the end of the day. Busyness isn't the same as purpose. A packed schedule doesn't mean a meaningful life. Too often, we fill our days with tasks that seem urgent, but leave us disconnected from what truly matters. You say your health is a priority, but your gym shoes haven't seen daylight in months. You say you want to write that novel, but your evenings vanish into social media scrolls. You say your family comes first, but work emails creep into dinner time. This isn't about guilt. It's about awakening. Your time is the one resource you can never replenish. Every yes you give to something trivial is a no to something sacred. And the longer you let your schedule be hijacked by the world's noise, the further you drift from the person you're meant to be. Let's ground this in a real-world example. Meet Alex, a 28-year-old marketing coordinator in Seattle. Alex always said his dream was to start a podcast about mental health, a passion rooted in his own struggles with anxiety. But his days told a different story. Mornings were rushed, spent checking emails before coffee. Lunch breaks went to scrolling X, comparing his life to influencers. Evenings were lost to Netflix or last-minute work tasks. When a friend asked about his podcast, Alex shrugged, "I'm too busy." But was he? Tracking his time for a week, Alex was stunned. He spent 15 hours on social media, 10 hours on streaming shows, and 0 hours on his podcast. His schedule didn't reflect his values, it reflected his distractions. This realization was his wake-up call. He started small, blocking 1 hour each Saturday to outline episodes. He turned off notifications during that hour, treating it as sacred. Over months, that single hour grew into a routine, and by 2025, Alex launched his first episode. His story shows that aligning your schedule with your values doesn't require a complete overhaul. Just intentional choices, 1 hour at a time. Critical thinking plays a crucial role here. In American culture, where productivity is glorified, it's easy to equate a full calendar with success. But critical thinking challenges you to question, am I busy with what matters, Or am I just filling time to avoid discomfort? The Stoics practiced this kind of self-inquiry daily. Marcus Aurelius began each morning reflecting on what was essential, preparing his mind to focus on what aligned with his purpose as a leader and a human. You can do the same. Start by auditing your time. For 3 days, track every 30-minute block. Don't judge, just observe. Where does your energy go? Are you spending 2 hours a day on X, chasing likes or outrage? Are you saying yes to meetings that could be emails? This isn't about shame. It's about clarity. Once you see the patterns, ask, what do I value most? Maybe it's your health, your creativity, your kids. Now, does your schedule reflect those values? If not, you're not living your life, you're living someone else's. Practically, aligning your schedule starts with defining your non-negotiables. These are the things that make you feel alive, grounded, whole. For some, it's 30 minutes of morning yoga. For others, it's reading to their kids at bedtime. For you, it might be an hour to work on that side hustle. Block these first, before the world fills your calendar. Use tools like Google Calendar to set recurring blocks, treating them as unbreakable appointments. Next, create margins. In a culture that celebrates back-to-back Zoom calls, leaving 15-minute buffers between tasks gives you room to breathe, think, and reset. Say no more often and mean it. When a colleague asks for just 5 minutes or a friend invites you to a draining event, pause. Ask, does this serve my values? If not, politely decline. Every no to distraction is a yes to your purpose. Emotionally, this process can feel exposing. Your schedule reveals truths you might not want to face. Maybe you're avoiding your dreams because failure scares you. Maybe you're overcommitting to please others, afraid of letting them down. But here's where Stoicism shines. It's not about perfection, but intention. You don't need a flawless schedule, just one that moves you closer to who you want to be. When you start choosing your time deliberately, you're not just managing tasks, you're sculpting your identity. That's the sacred part Seneca hinted at. Your calendar isn't just a tool. It's a canvas for self-respect. Every hour you reclaim is a step toward a life that feels like yours. Philosophically, this aligns with the concept of eudaimonia, the Greek idea of flourishing through a life well lived. For the Stoics, flourishing meant living in accordance with virtue, and time was the medium through which virtue was expressed. In 2025, when algorithms and 24/7 connectivity pull you in 1,000 directions, protecting your time is a radical act of defiance. It's saying, my life is mine to shape, so ask yourself, if my schedule is a mirror of my soul, what does it say about me today? What one change this week could bring it closer to my truth? Your future self is waiting for you to answer. In a world that feels like a storm, emails flooding your inbox, news alerts buzzing your phone, deadlines looming, how do you stay steady? The answer isn't more willpower or chasing fleeting motivation. It's ritual. It's rhythm. It's the quiet, deliberate practices you return to each day, not because they're exciting, but because they remind you who you are. Routines aren't boring or restrictive. They're anchors. They don't limit your freedom. They create the space for it. Without them, you're a ship adrift, tossed by every wave of distraction or stress. With them, you're grounded even when life gets chaotic. This third Stoic lesson teaches us that rituals and routines are the backbone of a life well lived, offering clarity and stability in a world that tries to pull you apart. The Stoics didn't call them morning routines or evening reflections, but they lived by them. Marcus Aurelius began each day with a mental rehearsal, preparing himself for the challenges ahead. He reminded himself not to be surprised by rudeness or hardship, arming his mind with clarity. At night, he reflected, asking where he lived in alignment and where he fell short, not to judge himself but to grow. These weren't grand gestures. They were small, consistent acts of self-ownership. In modern America, where we're bombarded with choices and distractions, rituals are more vital than ever. Without them, your day starts in reaction. Your phone dictates your first thoughts. Notifications shape your mood. You move fast, but without direction, ending the day exhausted yet unsure what you accomplished. But with a ritual, even 5 minutes, everything shifts. You enter the world centered, not empty. Take Emily, a 40-year-old teacher in Denver. Her mornings were chaos. Snoozing her alarm, rushing to get her kids to school, checking X while gulping coffee. By 8 a.m., she was frazzled, carrying that stress into her classroom. One day, inspired by a podcast, she tried a 5-minute ritual. Before touching her phone, she sat quietly, took 10 deep breaths, and wrote one intention for the day. It felt awkward at first, but within a week, she noticed a difference. She was calmer, more patient. That small anchor gave her a sense of control, no matter how hectic the day became. Emily's story shows that rituals don't need to be complex. They just need to be yours, rooted in what grounds you. Critical thinking enhances this practice. In a culture that fetishizes productivity hacks, it's easy to adopt routines that sound good but don't fit your life. Scroll through X, and you'll see influencers touting 4 a.m. wake-ups or 20-step morning routines. But critical thinking asks, does this serve me? A single mom doesn't need a 2-hour meditation session. She needs 5 minutes of stillness before the kids wake up. A night shift worker doesn't need a sunrise jog. They need a post-shift wind down. Reflect on what makes you feel strong, clear, alive. Maybe it's journaling 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk at lunch. Phone off, just you and the world. The key is consistency, not perfection. You won't always feel like it, and that's okay. Ritual isn't about feeling, it's about returning. Practically, start with 1 morning and 1 evening ritual. Mornings set your tone. Try 5 minutes of something intentional. Stretch, read a page of philosophy, name 1 goal for the day. Even drinking coffee slowly, savoring it, can be a ritual if done with presence. Evenings close the loop. Before bed, pause. Ask, where was I intentional today? Where did I drift? Write it down or just think it through. These bookends create rhythm. Over time, they become your lifeline. On good days, they amplify your focus. On hard days, they pull you back from the edge. Tools can help. Set a recurring alarm for your morning ritual, or use a journal app like Day 1 for evening reflections. But keep it simple. The power isn't in the tool, it's in the commitment. Emotionally, rituals are a gift to yourself. They say, I'm worth these moments. In a society that glorifies hustle, carving out time for stillness or reflection feels rebellious. It's a rejection of the idea that you're only valuable when you're producing. Stoicism teaches that your worth lies in your character, and rituals build that character, 1 quiet moment at a time. Philosophically, this echoes the Buddhist concept of mindfulness, being fully present in the now. In 2025, when screens and schedules fragment our attention, a 5-minute ritual is a radical act of presence. It's you reclaiming your mind from the chaos. Consider the science behind this. Studies show that consistent routines reduce cognitive load, freeing mental energy for creativity and problem-solving. A 2023 study from the University of California found that people with daily rituals reported lower stress and higher life satisfaction, even during turbulent times. Your brain craves structure. It's not a cage, but a scaffold. So ask yourself, how do I start and end my days? Do those moments reflect the life I want, or the chaos I've fallen into? Build 1 small ritual and watch it ripple. Your clarity, your strength, your identity, they all grow from these anchors. As we move forward, the next lessons will explore how decluttering your space and planning your days can free your mind and empower you to live with intention, building on the foundation of responsibility and rhythm we've established. Picture this. You walk into your home after a long day, and the first thing you see is chaos. A pile of unwashed dishes in the sink, a stack of unopened mail on the counter, clothes spilling out of a laundry basket, and a desk buried under papers, chargers, and half-finished coffee cups. You tell yourself it's fine, you'll deal with it later, but deep down you feel it. A heaviness, a mental fog that settles over you. Your space isn't just a backdrop. It's a silent player in your mental state. Clutter isn't neutral. It's a constant whisper of procrastination, indecision, and unfinished business, draining your energy even when you try to ignore it. The Stoics may not have preached minimalism, but they understood the power of clarity. And this 4th lesson teaches us that a disordered environment feeds a disordered mind. Decluttering your space isn't just cleaning. It's an act of self-respect, a way to free your mind and align your surroundings with the life you're building. Let's explore this deeply, weaving in Stoic wisdom, critical thinking, and practical strategies to transform your space and your psyche in today's cluttered American life. The connection between your environment and your mental state is more than anecdotal, it's biological. Your nervous system is wired to respond to your surroundings. A 2021 study from Princeton University found that visual clutter increases stress and reduces focus, as the brain struggles to process too many stimuli. Every object in your space sends a signal. That unworn jacket in the corner reminds you of a goal you abandoned. Those random cables in a drawer scream indecision. That stack of books you haven't touched whispers guilt. You might push through, telling yourself it doesn't matter, but your body disagrees. It's registering every item, every mess, and it's exhausting you. The Stoics, though ancient, grasped this intuitively. Seneca warned against the trap of excess, not because possessions were evil, but because they could own you. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor, he wrote. Clutter, whether it's physical stuff or emotional baggage, is a form of craving, a refusal to let go of what no longer serves you. And the longer you live in a space that feels overwhelmed, the more overwhelmed you become. Let's ground this in a modern example. Meet Rachel, a 35-year-old nurse in Atlanta. Her small apartment was a maze of clutter. Old scrubs she hadn't worn in years, stacks of medical journals she meant to read, and kitchen gadgets from a brief baking phase. She loved her job, but coming home felt like stepping into a second shift. The mess made her anxious, yet she avoided it, too tired to start. One weekend, inspired by a friend's minimalist home, Rachel decided to try. She started with one drawer, sorting through pens, receipts, and random keys. Each item she touched forced a question. Does this belong in my life now? She donated clothes that no longer fit, recycled papers, and kept only what felt useful or joyful. By the end of the day, her apartment wasn't perfect, but it was lighter, and so was she. Rachel noticed she could think more clearly, sleep better, and even felt motivated to cook again. Her story shows that decluttering isn't just about tidying. It's about editing your environment to reflect your current truth. Critical thinking is key here. In American culture, where consumerism drives us to accumulate, buy one, get one free, upgrade your phone every year, it's easy to equate stuff with success. But critical thinking challenges you to question, does this item serve my life, or am I holding on to it out of habit, guilt, or fear? The Stoics practiced this kind of discernment, constantly evaluating what was necessary for a virtuous life. You can apply this by asking, why am I keeping this? That shirt you haven't worn in 3 years, does it represent a version of you that no longer exists? Those books you feel guilty for not reading, are they sparking joy or shame? Sometimes we cling to clutter because it's familiar, because letting go feels like admitting a dream has died or a phase has ended. But holding on to what no longer fits blocks the clarity you need to move forward. Decluttering is letting go, and letting go is liberation. Practically, start small to avoid overwhelm. Choose one area, a drawer, a shelf, a corner of your room. Set a timer for 15 minutes and handle each item with intention. Ask, does this support the life I want? If it doesn't, thank it and let it go. Donate it, recycle it, or trash it without guilt. For example, if you're sorting a closet, keep only clothes that fit and make you feel good. Box up the rest for goodwill. If you're tackling a desk, keep one pen, one notebook, and clear the rest. Notice how you feel after: lighter, sharper, more focused. That's your energy returning. Make decluttering a rhythm, not a one-time purge. Spend 10 minutes a week maintaining your space, like wiping down surfaces or sorting mail. Use tools like storage bins or digital apps like Clutter-Free to stay organized. If you're in a small apartment, maximize vertical space with shelves or hooks. Every square foot counts in a 500 square foot studio. Emotionally, decluttering can be a reckoning. It forces you to confront truths you've avoided. A hobby you abandoned, a relationship that ended, a goal you outgrew. But this is where Stoicism shines. It's not about judging yourself for the mess. It's about choosing clarity now. When you release what no longer serves you, you create space for what does. That empty shelf isn't just clean. It's a canvas for new possibilities. That clear desk isn't just tidy. It's an invitation to focus. In 2025, when ads push you to buy more and social media flaunts perfect homes, decluttering is a rebellion. It's saying, I choose peace over excess. Philosophically, this echoes the Japanese concept of the beauty of empty space. A clear environment isn't just functional. It's sacred, a reflection of a mind at ease. So ask yourself, what in my space is stealing my mental peace? What could I gain by letting go? Your surroundings shape your thoughts, and a clear space is the first step to a clear mind. Start today, one corner at a time, and watch your energy transform. If you don't decide where your day is going, the world will decide for you. A text message pings, a headline grabs you, a coworker's urgent request derails you, and before you know it, hours have vanished. You're not resting, you're reacting. You're not choosing, you're drifting. This is the silent cost of a day without a plan. Your life moves, but it's no longer yours. In a world of endless distractions, planning isn't control, it's clarity. It's how you claim your power before the noise takes over. This fifth Stoic lesson reminds us that a life of purpose doesn't happen by accident. It's built through daily intentions, set with care and followed with discipline. Let's dive into how planning your days can transform your life, blending Stoic principles, critical thinking, and practical tools for navigating the chaos of modern America. The Stoics understood the necessity of preparation. Marcus Aurelius didn't just wake up and hope for a good day as Rome's emperor. He began with intention, mentally mapping his priorities and bracing for challenges. Begin the morning by saying to yourself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, the arrogant. He wrote, not to despair but to focus. This wasn't rigidity, it was strategy. Without a plan, you're at the mercy of randomness, and randomness favors urgency over meaning. In 2025, randomness looks like a phone buzzing with notifications, a news feed pulling you into outrage, or a last-minute errand stealing your focus. You end the day exhausted, not because you worked hard, but because you were dragged through it. Planning flips the script. It's your compass, guiding you back to what matters when the world tries to pull you away. Consider Mike, a 42-year-old small business owner in Austin. His days were a whirlwind of emails, client calls, and putting out fires at his coffee shop. He wanted to grow his business and spend more time with his teenage daughter, but his schedule was a free-for-all. One day, a mentor challenged him to plan his week. Mike started simple. Every Sunday, he spent 10 minutes listing his top 3 priorities: family, business growth, and personal health. Each morning, he blocked 30 minutes for focus work, 30 minutes for a walk, and 1 hour for his daughter, no phones allowed. At first, interruptions threw him off, but his plan became his anchor. If a client demanded an urgent meeting, he checked his priorities first. If it didn't fit, he said no or rescheduled. Within months, Mike launched a new menu, lost 10 pounds, and rebuilt his bond with his daughter. His story shows that planning isn't about locking yourself into a rigid box. It's about creating a framework that keeps you free. Critical thinking is essential for effective planning. In a culture that glorifies multitasking and 24/7 availability, it's easy to plan reactively, filling your day with other people's priorities. But critical thinking asks, what truly matters today? Not what's loudest or most urgent, but what moves you toward your goals. The Stoics called this focusing on what's up to us. Your actions, your choices, your time. Start by defining your high-impact tasks. If you're a student, it's studying for that exam, not scrolling X for study tips. If you're a parent, it's reading to your kid, not answering work emails at 8 p.m. Use the Eisenhower matrix. Sort tasks into urgent/important, and prioritize what's important but not urgent, like exercise or creative work, before it becomes a crisis. Practically, planning doesn't need to be complex. Each morning, take 5 minutes to set your intention. Grab a notebook or an app like Todoist and write, what's my top priority today? Who do I want to be today? Focused, kind, creative. Block time for your non-negotiables. 30 minutes for a workout, an hour for deep work, 15 minutes to call a friend. Use a physical planner or Google Calendar to visualize your day, leaving buffers for the unexpected. A 15-minute gap between meetings or a 10-minute breather after lunch. Anticipate disruptions. If you know your coworker always drops by at 10 a.m., plan around it or set boundaries. And don't aim for perfection. Life will interrupt. A sick kid, a flat tire, a sudden deadline. When it does, your plan isn't a chain, it's a guide. Adjust, then return to it. Emotionally, planning is an act of empowerment. In a society that measures worth by output, carving out time for what matters says, "My life is valuable." It's a rejection of the hustle myth that you must always be on. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from mastering what's in your control, and your time is the most precious thing you control. Philosophically, this aligns with the concept of kairos, the Greek idea of the right moment. Planning helps you seize the moments that matter, whether it's a quiet coffee with your spouse or a focused hour on your passion project. In 2025, when algorithms and ads vie for your attention, a planned day is a declaration of independence. Science backs this up. A 2022 study from the University of Michigan found that people who planned their days reported higher productivity and lower stress, as planning reduces decision fatigue. Your brain doesn't have to scramble to prioritize when you've already decided what matters. So ask yourself, am I designing my days, or am I letting the loudest thing win? What one task, if planned and done today, would move me closer to my truth? Start small, plan with intention, and watch your life shift from chaos to clarity. As we continue, the next lessons will explore how mindful consumption and curating your relationships can further protect your focus and build a life of purpose, grounding you in the structure you've begun to create. You are not just what you eat. You are what you watch, what you scroll, what you listen to, what you allow into your mind when no one else is watching. Every piece of content, every conversation, every environment you expose yourself to weaves itself into the fabric of your thoughts, your moods, your soul. In a world where information floods your senses, news alerts screaming doom, social media flaunting curated lives, podcasts and playlists vying for your attention, what you consume either grounds you or poisons you. The Stoics understood this deeply long before smartphones and algorithms. They knew that the mind takes on the color of what it absorbs, and this sixth lesson urges us to choose our inputs with intention, aligning them with our values to cultivate clarity and peace in the chaos of modern American life. Let's dive into this principle, blending Stoic wisdom, critical thinking, and practical strategies to protect your mind in 2025's relentless digital storm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Imagine waking up and, before your feet touch the floor, you're scrolling X, bombarded with headlines about economic collapse or celebrity scandals. Your nervous system, still groggy, absorbs stress, fear, or outrage. Then you swipe through Instagram, seeing influencers with perfect bodies, dream vacations, and six-figure side hustles. By the time you start your day, you're already drained, not because anything happened, but because of what you let in. This isn't an accident. Tech is designed to hook you, to exploit your attention with dopamine hits and fear-driven clicks. In the US, where the average person spends over 4 hours a day on their phone, according to a 2024 Nielsen report, mindless consumption is a silent thief, stealing your focus and peace. The Stoics didn't face algorithms, but they faced distractions, court intrigues, public demands, personal temptations. Their solution was discipline. Choose what enters your mind with the same care you choose what enters your body. Let's look at a real-world example. Meet Lauren, a 29-year-old paralegal in Miami. Her mornings started with her phone, checking X for news, scrolling TikTok for laughs, and falling into rabbit holes of fitness influencers and political rants. By 9 a.m., she felt anxious, inadequate, and scattered, carrying that energy into her workday. One day, a coworker mentioned a digital detox challenge, and Lauren tried it. She silenced non-essential notifications, unfollowed accounts that left her feeling small, and replaced her morning scroll with 10 minutes of reading, a mix of Stoic philosophy and poetry. Within a week, her mind felt quieter. She noticed she was less reactive, more focused, even kinder to herself. Lauren's story shows that mindful consumption isn't about cutting everything out. It's about curating what you let in to nourish your soul. Critical thinking is your shield here. In a culture that normalizes doom scrolling and comparison, it's easy to assume you're powerless against the algorithm. But critical thinking asks, is this content serving me? Does it align with my values? Or is it just filling space? The Stoics practiced this discernment, filtering their thoughts to focus on what was true and virtuous. Apply this by auditing your inputs. For a day, track what you consume. Every app, every video, every conversation. Note how each makes you feel. Does that true crime podcast leave you paranoid? Does that coworker's gossip drain your energy? Does that X thread spark curiosity or anger? Be ruthless. Unfollow accounts that disturb your peace. Mute group chats that spiral into negativity. Delete apps that suck you in without giving back. You don't owe your attention to everyone. You owe it to your clarity. Practically, create rituals for intentional consumption. Start your morning with something grounding. A page from meditations, a podcast like The Happiness Lab, or silence with a cup of coffee. No phone. Throughout the day, set boundaries. Use Do Not Disturb mode from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. to protect your evenings and mornings. Check X or email at set times, say 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., instead of every 10 minutes. Curate your feeds to reflect your values. Follow accounts that inspire creativity, like artists or philosophers, or spark joy, like dog rescue pages. If you're into fitness, follow trainers who focus on health, not perfection. And don't forget analog inputs. Spend 15 minutes in nature, a park, a trail, or your backyard. Let the rustle of leaves or the warmth of sunlight reset your nervous system. Journal for 5 minutes at night, reflecting on what you consumed and how it shaped your day. Emotionally, mindful consumption is an act of self-love. It's saying, my mind is sacred. In a society that profits off your distraction, choosing what to let in feels like rebellion. It's refusing to let strangers dump toxicity into your thoughts via clickbait or outrage. This isn't just about media, it's about people and spaces too. That friend who always complains? That coffee shop where the Wi-Fi is spotty and the music's too loud? They're not neutral. Your energy knows the truth, even if you try to rationalize it. When you clean your inputs, your clarity returns. You react less, create more, and breathe easier. Philosophically, this echoes the Buddhist idea of right view, seeing the world clearly by choosing what shapes your perspective. In 2025, when misinformation and noise are louder than ever, mindful consumption is your superpower. Science supports this. A 2023 UCLA study found that reducing exposure to negative news lowered anxiety and improved focus, while intentional media use, like reading or listening to uplifting content, boosted well-being. Your brain isn't built for endless input. It thrives on quality over quantity. So ask yourself, what am I consuming that feeds my anxiety or doubt? What could change if I only let in what aligns with who I want to be? Your mind is a garden. Choose what you plant carefully and watch it bloom. Your life isn't just shaped by your habits or your space. It's shaped by the people you let near you. The friend you text daily, the coworker you vent to, the family member you call every Sunday. They're not just passing through. They're sculpting your energy, your mindset, your peace. The Stoics knew this, warning that your circle either sharpens your focus or scatters it. This seventh lesson teaches us that the people around you are a critical part of your order, and curating your relationships is as essential as decluttering your desk or planning your day. Surrounding yourself with those who support your growth, not chaos, is a powerful act of self-preservation. Let's explore how to build a circle that lifts you up, weaving in Stoic principles, critical thinking, and practical steps for modern American life. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid by those who don't understand." His words ring true in a world where social pressures, online and off, can pull you toward drama, distraction, or low expectations. The people closest to you aren't just company. They're influences. Their moods linger in your mind. Their words echo in your decisions. Their chaos can become your anxiety. In the US, where community is often built through group chats, happy hours, and social media, it's easy to let anyone into your orbit. But access doesn't equal influence. Emotional clutter is as real as physical clutter, and not everyone who texts you deserves a front-row seat in your life. Take James, a 33-year-old software engineer in San Francisco. His social circle was a mix: childhood friends, work buddies, and a few online gaming pals. But he noticed a pattern. Happy hours with his work friends often turned into complaint sessions, leaving him drained. One friend, Tom, constantly texted about his toxic relationship, pulling James into hours of advice giving. Meanwhile, his gaming group mocked his attempts to eat healthier, calling it, "Bro, chill." James felt stuck, torn between loyalty and exhaustion. After reading about Stoicism, he decided to adjust. He didn't cut everyone off, he set boundaries. He limited happy hours to once a month, politely declined Tom's late-night vents, and joined a local running club where people shared his health goals. Within weeks, James felt lighter, more focused, and inspired. His story shows that curating your circle isn't about being cold. It's about protecting your peace. Critical thinking helps you navigate this. In a culture that values staying connected, it's easy to confuse obligation with connection. But critical thinking asks, is this relationship mutual? Does this person respect my growth? Or do they pull me back? The Stoics emphasized focusing on what's in your control, and you control who gets your time. Reflect on your circle. Who brings peace? Who brings noise? Who celebrates your wins versus who subtly competes or dismisses them? Be honest. That friend who always needs a favor but never asks how you're doing? That relative who criticizes your career choices? They're not neutral. They're shaping your emotional landscape. Practically, start by assessing your relationships. List the 5 people you interact with most. For each note, do they inspire me, drain me, or leave me neutral? Don't judge, just observe. Then adjust gently. If someone's chaotic, pull back without drama. Text less, meet less, redirect conversations. If they cross boundaries, communicate clearly. I'm focusing on work this week, so I can't chat much. Seek out people who reflect your values. Join a book club if you love ideas. Sign up for a 5K if fitness is your thing. Use platforms like Meetup to find local groups, say, a hiking club in Colorado or a coding meetup in Chicago. And be the person you want in your circle. Speak encouragement. Respect boundaries. Don't add noise to someone else's life. If you're in a small town with fewer options, online communities like Reddit's r/Stoicism can connect you to like-minded souls. Emotionally, curating your circle can feel daunting. Letting go of old friends or setting boundaries with family might spark guilt or fear of loneliness. But Stoicism reminds us, your peace is worth it. You're not abandoning people, you're choosing yourself. This aligns with the psychological concept of emotional contagion, where moods spread like a virus. A 2022 Harvard study found that positive social connections boost mental health, while toxic ones increase stress. In 2025, when group chats and DMs make everyone feel close, discernment is key. Choose quality over quantity. So ask yourself, who in my circle helps me grow? Who pulls me into chaos? What kind of energy do I want in my life? Your relationships aren't just connections. They're the atmosphere you live in. Build a circle that breathes clarity, and your peace will follow. As we move forward, the next lessons will explore how caring for your body and organizing your finances can anchor your life further, building on the clarity and relationships you've cultivated. Your body is not a machine to be pushed, ignored, or fixed later when life slows down. It's the foundation of everything you build, your focus, your energy, your dreams. You can have the sharpest mind, the clearest goals, the most disciplined schedule, but if your body is neglected, it all crumbles. Fatigue clouds your decisions. Hunger distorts your mood. Lack of sleep amplifies your stress. In a culture that glorifies hustle and treats self-care as a luxury, prioritizing your physical health is a radical act of discipline. The Stoics didn't worship the body, but they respected it as the vessel of a virtuous life. This 8th lesson teaches us that caring for your body, through consistent sleep, nutrition, and movement, is the bedrock of mental and emotional order. Let's dive deep into this principle, weaving Stoic wisdom, critical thinking, and practical strategies to nurture your body in the fast-paced, convenience-driven landscape of modern America. Epictetus said, "You must take care of the body, but not make it the center of your attention." His words strike a balance. Don't obsess over perfection, but don't abandon your physical health either. Your body is your first system, the one that carries you through every ambition and challenge. Neglect it and you're building a house on sand. In 2025, American life tempts you to override your body's needs. Late-night Netflix binges steal your sleep. Fast food beckons when you're too busy to cook. Desk jobs and endless Zoom calls keep you sedentary. The consequences aren't abstract, they're immediate. A 2023 CDC report found that 60% of US adults get less than 7 hours of sleep, contributing to anxiety and reduced productivity. Poor nutrition fuels inflammation, fogging your brain. Sedentary habits weaken your resilience. These aren't side effects, they're disruptors undermining the systems you're trying to build, your routines, your focus, your peace. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Sarah, a 38-year-old accountant in Minneapolis. Her days were a blur of spreadsheets, carpools, and takeout dinners. She hadn't exercised since college, survived on coffee, and averaged 5 hours of sleep. She told herself she'd get healthy when work slowed down, but her body was sending signals. Headaches, irritability, a constant low-grade exhaustion. One day, a scare at her annual checkup, high blood pressure, forced her to act. She started small. A 10-minute walk at lunch, drinking a glass of water before coffee, aiming for 7 hours of sleep by setting a 10 p.m. bedtime. Within weeks, her energy surged. She could focus longer, snap less at her kids, and even felt inspired to try yoga. Sarah's transformation wasn't about a gym membership or a fad diet. It was about listening to her body and building small, consistent habits. Her story shows that caring for your body isn't vanity. It's strategy. Critical thinking is crucial here. American culture pushes extremes. Crash diets, 90-minute CrossFit sessions, or hustle harder mantras that glorify burnout. But critical thinking asks, what does my body need to thrive, not just survive? The Stoics emphasized reason, and reason tells us that health isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. You don't need to run a marathon or go vegan overnight. You need sustainable habits that fit your life. If you're a single parent, a 20-minute home workout beats an hour at the gym you'll never reach. If you're a night shift worker, prioritizing sleep during the day is more vital than a sunrise jog. Reflect on your body's signals. Are you tired because you're scrolling X until midnight? Are you sluggish because your lunch is a burger and fries? These aren't judgments, they're data. Use them to make choices that honor your body as a system, not a burden. Practically, start with the basics. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and hydration. Sleep is non-negotiable. Aim for 7 to 8 hours nightly. Set a bedtime alarm, dim screens an hour before bed, and create a wind-down ritual like reading or stretching. A 2024 Stanford study found that consistent sleep improves cognitive function by 20%, sharpening your mind for work and life. For nutrition, focus on whole foods over processed ones. Swap soda for water, add a vegetable to every meal, or prep a simple lunch like grilled chicken and broccoli. You don't need a $200 meal delivery service, just a plan. Try batch cooking on Sundays. A pot of chili or a tray of roasted veggies can last all week. Movement doesn't mean a gym. Walk 10 minutes a day, 2,000 steps, roughly a mile. Take stairs, stretch during TV commercials, or dance to your favorite song. Hydrate consistently. Carry a 32-ounce water bottle and sip throughout the day. These habits sound small, but they compound. A week of better sleep and a daily walk can make you feel like a new person. Emotionally, caring for your body shifts your self-perception. It's a declaration, I'm worth this effort. In a society that equates worth with output, prioritizing health feels like rebellion. You're not just eating a salad, you're voting for clarity. You're not just sleeping, you're investing in resilience. Stoicism teaches that discipline begins with what's in your control, and your body is the starting line. Philosophically, this aligns with the ancient Greek idea of ascesis, training the body and mind for a higher purpose. In 2025, when convenience tempts you to skip lunch or pull an all-nighter, choosing health is a stand for your future self. Notice how your patience grows when you're rested, how your creativity sparks when you're nourished. Your body isn't separate from your mind or spirit. It's their foundation. So ask yourself, what is my body telling me right now? If I believe discipline starts with physical care, what would I do differently today? Start small, listen closely, and build habits that make your body an ally, not an obstacle. Your goals depend on the system carrying you forward. You can meditate for hours, journal your gratitude, or run 5 miles a day. But if your finances are a mess, peace will always feel just out of reach. Unpaid bills, maxed out credit cards, or the gnawing fear of an empty savings account, they're not just numbers. They're a quiet stress that hums in the background, waking you at 3 a.m., clouding your focus, and keeping you tethered to survival mode. Money isn't everything, but it touches everything. Your health, your relationships, your dreams. In a culture that ties worth to wealth, financial chaos can feel like a personal failure, but it's not a character flaw. It's often just avoidance, a habit of looking away from what scares you. This 9th Stoic lesson teaches us that facing your financial reality, simplifying your spending, and building systems create clarity and peace. Let's explore how to bring order to your finances, blending Stoic wisdom, critical thinking, and practical tools for navigating America's complex economic landscape in 2025. The Stoics didn't equate peace with poverty or glorify wealth, but they understood the power of managing what you have. Seneca wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This isn't about living like a monk, it's about clarity. Financial chaos, unpaid debts, impulse buys, no savings, steals your mental bandwidth. A 2024 American Psychological Association survey found that 72% of Americans feel stressed about money, with 22% reporting extreme anxiety. That stress isn't abstract. It's the knot in your stomach when a car repair costs $500 you don't have. It's the shame of dodging a friend's dinner invite because you can't afford it. Most people aren't reckless, they're overwhelmed. They avoid checking their bank account, hoping it'll fix itself. But avoidance grows in your nervous system, turning small problems into big ones. Let's meet David, a 45-year-old teacher in Phoenix. David lived paycheck to paycheck despite a stable job. Credit card debt from medical bills lingered, and he splurged on takeout to cope with stress. He avoided his finances, dreading the truth. One day, a coworker shared a budgeting app, and David decided to face it. He listed his debts, $8,000 total. He tracked his spending, $150 a month on coffee and DoorDash. It was humbling but empowering. He cut takeout to once a week, saving $100 monthly, and set up auto payments for his smallest debt. He started an emergency fund with $10 a week. Within a year, he paid off one card and saved $500. David's peace didn't come from wealth, it came from clarity. His story shows that financial order starts with honesty, not a windfall. Critical thinking is your ally here. American culture bombards you with messages. Buy now, pay later. You deserve this vacation. But critical thinking asks, is this purchase serving my future or escaping my present? The Stoics practice detachment, focusing on needs over wants. Apply this by questioning your habits. Do you shop online when you're stressed? Do you upgrade your phone every year because it's normal? These aren't just choices, they're patterns. Reflect on your relationship with money. Does it feel like freedom or a trap? Facing the truth, your balances, your debts, your spending, isn't punishment. It's power. You can't change what you don't see. Practically, start with awareness. Log into your accounts and write down, what do you owe? What do you earn? What do you spend? No shame, just numbers. Use a free app like Mint or Inab to track expenses. For example, if you spend $200 a month on subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, gym, decide which ones you use. Cancel the rest. Simplify your spending. Set a $50 weekly grocery budget and stick to it with a list. Cook at home. $10 for a homemade stir-fry beats $30 for delivery. Build a buffer. Save $5 a week, aiming for a $1,000 emergency fund. Automate payments for bills and savings to reduce decision fatigue. Check your finances weekly like a 15-minute Sunday ritual. And detach your worth from your wallet. A 2023 Federal Reserve report showed 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency. So you're not alone. Clarity, not wealth, is the goal. Emotionally, financial order heals shame. Facing your debt or cutting a $5 latte habit isn't failure. It's courage. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from managing what's in your control, and your spending is yours to shape. Philosophically, this aligns with the concept of frugality, not deprivation, but intentional living. In 2025, when ads push you to treat yourself and influencers flex lavish lifestyles, financial clarity is rebellion. It's saying, I choose security over status. Notice how your stress eases when you pay a bill on time, how your confidence grows when you save $100. These are wins, not numbers. So ask yourself, where is my financial life creating stress? What small step, like checking my balance or skipping one takeout, could bring peace? Your bank account isn't your worth, but it's a system you can master one choice at a time. As we continue, the next lessons will explore how using technology with intention and embracing persistence over perfection can further strengthen your life's order, building on the physical and financial clarity you've cultivated. Your phone is a portal to connection, knowledge, creativity, or chaos. It can be a tool that empowers your purpose or a trap that fragments your focus. In 2025, when the average American spends over 4 hours a day glued to screens, technology is no longer just a convenience. It's a force that shapes your thoughts, your time, your life. Every swipe, every notification, every click trains your brain, either toward clarity or distraction. The Stoics never wrestled with smartphones, but their wisdom cuts through the noise. If a thing is in your power and does not corrupt your integrity, use it with reason. If it is not in your power, do not let it rule you, Epictetus taught. This 10th lesson urges us to wield technology with intention, not impulse, setting boundaries to protect our focus and reclaim our minds in a world designed to hijack them. Let's dive into this principle, blending Stoic discipline, critical thinking, and practical strategies to navigate the digital landscape of modern America with purpose and peace. The design of technology is deliberate. Apps like X, TikTok, and Instagram are engineered to keep you scrolling, tapping into your brain's dopamine reward system. A 2024 study from the University of Southern California found that the average user checks their phone 96 times a day, once every 10 minutes. Each ping pulls you away from the present, flooding your mind with noise before you've even had a chance to think. You wake up, reach for your phone, and before your coffee's brewed, you're reacting to a work email, a news alert, or a stranger's post. Your nervous system kicks into overdrive, and your day hasn't even started. This isn't freedom, it's surrender. The Stoics understood that true power lies in controlling what's yours to control, and your attention is the most valuable currency you have. Letting technology dictate your focus is like handing your wallet to a stranger. You wouldn't do that with your money, so why do it with your mind? Let's meet Emma, a 27-year-old graphic designer in Los Angeles. Her phone was her lifeline, work emails, client DMs, and endless inspiration on Pinterest. But it was also her leash. She'd start her day scrolling X, lose 30 minutes to viral videos, and feel frazzled before her first sketch. At night, she'd doom scroll until 1 a.m., leaving her exhausted. One day, a friend suggested a screen time audit, and Emma was shocked. 6 hours daily on her phone, half on apps she barely remembered using. She decided to act. She turned off all non-essential notifications, set her phone to grayscale to curb mindless scrolling, and banned it from her bedroom. Instead of morning X, she spent 5 minutes sketching by hand. Within a week, her creativity soared, and she felt calmer, more present. Emma's story shows that intentional tech use isn't about ditching your phone. It's about making it serve you, not rule you. Critical thinking is your guide here. American culture normalizes constant connectivity. Your boss expects instant replies, your friends expect you in every group chat, and algorithms expect your clicks. But critical thinking asks, is this tech use moving me toward my goals or pulling me away? The Stoics practiced relentless self-examination, questioning what deserved their energy. Apply this by auditing your digital habits. For one day, track every app you open, every site you visit, every notification you check. Note how each makes you feel. Does X spark ideas or anxiety? Does that gaming app relax you or waste hours? Be honest. If an app leaves you drained, limit it or delete it. If a notification isn't urgent, silence it. You're not a victim of the algorithm, you're its master if you choose to be. Practically, reclaim your tech with clear boundaries. Start your day phone-free for the first 30 minutes. Use that time for a ritual. Stretch, journal, or sip coffee in silence. End your day the same way, no screens an hour before bed. A 2023 Harvard study found that blue light from screens disrupts melatonin, cutting sleep quality by 25%. Protect your focus with Do Not Disturb mode during work or family time, allowing only key contacts. Set app limits, say 30 minutes daily for X or TikTok, using tools like Apple Screen Time or Android's digital well-being. Curate your feeds to align with your values. Follow accounts that inspire, like creators sharing Stoic insights or fitness coaches promoting balance, and unfollow those that trigger comparison or outrage. Be okay with boredom. Instead of scrolling during a 5-minute wait, let your mind wander. That discomfort is where creativity and clarity are born. Emotionally, intentional tech use feels like taking back your life. It's saying, my attention is mine. In a society that profits off your distraction, setting boundaries is rebellion. You're not just silencing a notification, you're reclaiming a moment for yourself. Stoicism teaches that freedom comes from mastering your choices, and every time you choose presence over a ping, you're stronger. Philosophically, this echoes the Taoist idea of Wu Wei, effortless action through alignment. In 2025, when AI ads and viral trends clamor for your clicks, using tech with intention is a stand for your sanity. Notice how your focus sharpens when you skip the morning scroll, how your mood lifts when you replace X with a walk. These are your mind's thank yous. So ask yourself, am I using this tool, or is it using me? What would change if I treated my attention as sacred? Start small, silence one notification, skip one scroll, and watch your clarity return. Technology should amplify your purpose, not erode it. Life isn't a straight line. There will be days when your alarm fails, your routine collapses, your inbox overflows, and your carefully laid plans unravel. You'll skip the gym, snap at a friend, or fall back into old habits, feeling like you're right back where you started. These moments aren't failure, they're life. The lie of discipline is that it must be flawless, that one missed workout ruins the streak, that one chaotic day undoes months of progress. But real order isn't built on perfection. It's built on persistence. How quickly you return, how steadily you rebuild, how fiercely you refuse to stay down. This 11th Stoic lesson reminds us that transformation comes from small, consistent efforts, not unattainable ideals. Let's explore this deeply, weaving Stoic resilience, critical thinking, and practical steps to embrace persistence in the messy reality of modern American life. Marcus Aurelius, in his rawest moments, wrote not as a flawless emperor but as a man who stumbled and returned. You lost it. Return. Not with shame, not with punishment, but with presence, he urged himself. His meditations are a testament to persistence, a daily practice of realigning with virtue despite setbacks. In 2025, when social media showcases perfect lives, waking at 5 a.m., crushing workouts, and closing million-dollar deals, it's easy to feel like a failure when you falter. But perfection is a trap. It's rigid, unforgiving, and humanly impossible. Persistence, on the other hand, is flexible, forgiving, and powerful. It's the quiet choice to show up again, even when you're tired, even when you doubt yourself, even when the world feels heavy. Let's look at Mia, a 31-year-old marketing manager in Boston. Mia set a goal to run 3 times a week, aiming for a 5K. For 2 weeks, she was consistent, logging miles and feeling unstoppable. Then life hit. A work deadline, a sick dog, a snowstorm. She missed a week, then 2, and guilt crept in. I blew it, she thought, tempted to quit. But a friend shared a Stoic idea. Progress isn't linear. It's cyclical. Mia restarted, not with a grueling run but a 10-minute jog. She tracked her returns. Each time she laced up after a miss. By spring, she ran her 5K, not because she was perfect but because she kept coming back. Mia's story shows that persistence isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. Critical thinking dismantles the perfection myth. American culture celebrates overnight success, weight loss transformations, startup unicorns, viral fame, but critical thinking asks, what's the real story? Nobody's perfect. The influencer with the chiseled abs misses workouts. The CEO with the TED Talk has bad days. The Stoics practice self-honesty, owning their slips without self-punishment. Apply this by redefining success. It's not doing everything every day. It's doing something. A 5-minute walk is progress. A single mindful breath is a win. Reflect on your setbacks. Why did I slip? Was it a late night, an overpacked schedule, or self-doubt? Use that data to adjust, not to judge. Maybe you need a 7 p.m. workout instead of 6 a.m. Maybe you need to say no to one commitment. Persistence thrives on adaptation. Practically, build persistence with small systems. Set minimums for your habits. If you can't run 30 minutes, walk 10. If you can't journal a page, write 1 sentence. These micro wins keep the flame alive. Track your returns, not just your streaks. Use a notebook or an app like Habitica to note every time you restart. Say, got back to meditating after 2 days off. That's where confidence grows, not in flawless days but in resilient ones. Normalize the restart. Don't wait for Monday or a new month. Restart now, midday, mid-mistake, mid-regret. A 2024 University of Chicago study found that people who reframed setbacks as learning moments were 30% more likely to stick to goals. Speak to yourself with kindness in those moments. Instead of, I'm lazy, try, I'm human, and I'm showing up again. Your inner voice shapes your ability to return. Emotionally, persistence is grace. It's forgiving yourself for being human while trusting your capacity to grow. Stoicism teaches that strength lies in what you control, your effort, your attitude, your next step. In a society that demands instant results, choosing persistence feels like defiance. It's saying, I'm building something real, one step at a time. Philosophically, this aligns with the Japanese concept of Kaizen, continuous improvement through small, steady efforts. In 2025, when hustle culture pushes you to go big or go home, persistence is a quieter, stronger path. Notice how your confidence builds when you return, how your resilience grows with each small win. These are the roots of a life that lasts. So ask yourself, where have I mistaken a slip for failure? What would persistence look like today? A small step, a quiet return. Perfection will break you, but persistence will build you, stronger than anything flawless could. As we move forward, the final lesson will explore how your purpose requires structure to survive, tying together the systems you've built to protect and sustain your deepest calling. Purpose is not a fleeting spark, a burst of inspiration, or a fire that burns on its own. It's a fragile, precious thing, a calling that whispers in your heart but needs a strong container to thrive. Without structure, purpose becomes frustration, a dream that slips through your fingers, a vision that fades into regret. The Stoics knew this deeply. Marcus Aurelius didn't just ponder his purpose as Rome's emperor. He built his life around it, with daily rituals and relentless focus. Epictetus, born into slavery, didn't teach philosophy through passion alone but through repetition, clarity, and habit. This 12th and final Stoic lesson teaches us that your purpose, whether it's writing a book, raising a family, or serving your community, requires systems to survive. It needs rituals, boundaries, and a life designed to protect its weight, especially when doubt, distraction, or chaos creeps in. Let's dive into this principle, weaving Stoic wisdom, critical thinking, and practical strategies to ensure your purpose flourishes in the demanding, distraction-filled landscape of modern America. Purpose without structure is like a seed without soil. It might hold potential, but it won't grow. You've felt this, haven't you? That moment when a dream lights you up, starting a business, learning a new skill, or making a difference, but life's demands drown it out. Work deadlines, family obligations, or the endless scroll of X steal your time, and before you know it, your purpose is on hold, waiting for someday. The Stoics didn't believe in someday. They believed in now, in shaping each day to serve your mission. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." His words are a call to action. Don't just dream of your purpose, build a life that carries it. In 2025, when American culture glorifies instant success and multitasking, giving your purpose structure is a radical act. It's saying, "This matters enough to design my days around it." Let's meet Lisa, a 34-year-old social worker in Portland. Lisa's purpose was clear. She wanted to advocate for mental health reform, inspired by her own journey through depression. She dreamed of starting a nonprofit, but her days were consumed by case files, errands, and social media. Her purpose felt like a distant star, beautiful but unreachable. One evening, reading about Stoicism, she stumbled on the idea of designing your day. She decided to act. Every Sunday, she blocked 1 hour to work on her nonprofit plan, researching grants, drafting a mission statement. She set a boundary: no phone during that hour, no interruptions. She prepared the night before, laying out her notebook and laptop to reduce friction. When motivation waned, her system carried her. Within a year, Lisa secured a small grant and launched a community workshop. Her story shows that purpose doesn't thrive on passion alone. It needs architecture, a framework of habits and boundaries that protect it from life's chaos. Critical thinking is your compass here. In a culture that celebrates hustle and overscheduling, it's easy to let purpose become a side project, squeezed into spare moments. But critical thinking asks, is my life built to support my calling, or am I hoping it survives my chaos? The Stoics practiced ruthless prioritization, focusing only on what aligned with their virtues. Apply this by defining your purpose clearly. What's the one thing that makes you feel alive that you'd regret not pursuing? Maybe it's teaching, creating art, or mentoring youth. Now audit your life. Does your schedule, your environment, your energy serve this? If you're spending 2 hours a day on X but 0 on your purpose, something's misaligned. Question the excuses. "I'm too busy" often means, "I haven't prioritized." Be honest. Your purpose deserves space and only you can give it. Practically, start by making space. Say no to what doesn't serve your mission. If your purpose is writing, decline that extra committee at work to free up an hour. If it's fitness, skip the happy hour that cuts into gym time. Use time blocks, dedicated, uninterrupted hours for your purpose. For example, set aside 7 to 8 p.m. thrice weekly to work on your project, treating it like a doctor's appointment. Reduce friction. Prepare your tools the night before, whether it's a laptop for writing or running shoes by the door. A 2024 MIT study found that minimizing setup time increases task initiation by 40%. Create rituals to anchor your purpose. A 5-minute meditation before starting, or a journal entry to reflect on progress. When motivation fades, and it will, let your structure carry you. You don't need to feel inspired to write 500 words or run a mile. You just need to show up. If life disrupts your plan, a sick kid, a work crisis, adjust, don't abandon. Shift your block to tomorrow, not next month. Emotionally, giving your purpose structure is an act of faith. It's believing your calling is worth the effort, even when results are slow. In a society that demands quick wins, viral fame, overnight startups, building systems for your purpose feels like planting a tree you may not see bloom. But Stoicism teaches that true success is living in alignment with your values, not chasing applause. Every small step, 30 minutes of focused work, one boundary set, is a victory. Notice how your confidence grows when you honor your purpose, how your clarity sharpens when you protect it. Philosophically, this aligns with the existentialist idea of authenticity, living true to your essence. In 2025, when distractions like AI ads and 24/7 connectivity vie for your soul, structuring your purpose is a declaration. This is who I am. So ask yourself, have I built my life to nurture my purpose, or am I leaving it to chance? What one system, a time block, a boundary could I create today to protect it? Your purpose is real, but it needs more than dreams. It needs a home, built brick by brick, day by day. These 12 Stoic lessons, from taking radical responsibility to structuring your purpose, are not about becoming a rigid, robotic version of yourself. They're about remembering a simple truth. If you don't organize your life, chaos will organize it for you, and not in ways you'll like. Life doesn't fall apart in a single crash. It unravels slowly, one unchecked hour, one avoided truth, one distracted day at a time. But you are not powerless. You are the architect of your clarity, the builder of your peace. Each lesson is a tool, a brick in the foundation of a life shaped by intention, not reaction. The Stoics didn't control the world. War, betrayal, and hardship swirled around them, but they mastered what was theirs. Their choices, their time, their minds. You can do the same, starting now with one small, deliberate step. In 2025, modern American life is a whirlwind. Notifications ping every 10 minutes. Bills stack up faster than paychecks. Social media tempts you to compare, consume, and conform. But these challenges are not your destiny. They're your testing ground. Apply these lessons with patience and persistence. Take ownership of your chaos, like Sarah clearing her kitchen counter or David facing his debt. Align your schedule with your values, like Alex carving out an hour for his podcast. Anchor yourself with rituals, like Emily's 5-minute morning breaths. Declutter your space, plan your days, consume mindfully, and surround yourself with people who lift you up. Care for your body, organize your finances, use technology as a tool, and persist through setbacks. Above all, build systems to protect your purpose, because that's the heart of a life well lived. Here's practical advice for today. Start small, but start now. Pick one lesson that resonates. Maybe it's planning your day or silencing notifications, and act on it this week. If you're overwhelmed, choose a 10-minute habit. Write one sentence toward your purpose, walk 1 mile, or save $5. Track your progress in a notebook or app, celebrating every return, every small win. Be kind to yourself when you slip. Persistence, not perfection, is the path. Surround yourself with inspiration. Read a page of meditations, listen to a podcast like The Daily Stoic, or join a community on X that shares your values. In a world that profits off your distraction, every intentional choice is a rebellion, a step toward a life that's truly yours. If these lessons have sparked something in you, an urge to take control, to build clarity, to live with purpose, don't keep it to yourself. Share this journey with someone you care about, someone who might be drowning in chaos or yearning for direction. Subscribe to ZENLIGHT 8 on YouTube, where we dive deep into wisdom for modern life, blending Stoic principles with practical steps to thrive in 2025. Drop a comment below. Share which of these 7 lessons hit you hardest or how you're applying them today. Your story could inspire someone else to start. Join our community of builders, thinkers, and doers who are done waiting for someday. Your life is now, and ZENLIGHT 8 is here to guide you, one intentional step at a time.